Okay, we're ready.
What's up, guys? Shawn Bowen, Full Circle Investment Group, and wholesalingoutofthebox.com, back in for another Lunchtime Live. And just like the title says, today we are going to talk about Google Drive and how it is a game changer and a time saver and all of that, right? So while you're joining us, if you would, click on that link, and that way we can see where you're coming from and who's watching. And if you want to interact with us, just allow StreamYard to see where you're coming from. That way we can recognize who you are and try to conversate with you and while we're doing these. So, guys, this is something that's really big. And specifically, I want to talk about this because probably for the past at least month, we've been looking at a lot of deals, but there have been a lot of back and forth. So this is like email back and forth, there's text messages back and forth, but the issue is like, how can you get everything that on a deal you're trying to share, everything into one spot that is consistently going to be there for you in the future, and also easily accessible for the person, as like in this case, we're the buyer, that we can put our hands on and see, right? So what I'm referring to is a Google Drive that you can create a link and then share that link so it's viewable by the public. Put all of your pictures about the property. If there's specific notes that you want, put that inside of that same link as well. And then save that link to your CRM, whether that be a Podio link or we use Google Drive and Podio is our CRM, but maybe you're using Dropbox. Any of these apps that allow you to put a lot of information in one space to share with your future buyers is going to be really important. The other part is that you want to keep this in mind. If you go on an appointment and you get all these pictures, what if you didn't get the contract today, right? This would be a good example of making that folder so you have all that information when you want to reference it in the future. So for example, let's say you go out, you check out a property, you do the inspection, but the seller's just not ready to sign today. And that follow-up comes back maybe 2-3 weeks later. Well, now you can see that link because you have it in a Google Drive, you have it in a Dropbox, and you can refresh your memory on what that property looked like, okay? Then when it's time to, let's say now it's time to go and actually do the contract, you can reference the pictures, and now it's time to build your flyer, okay? We got over here. Let me check this out for a second. So for the future, yeah, take care, future you. Yes, I'm reading notes here. So what I want to really talk about is sharing this information to somewhere where it's always accessible, so that you don't have to do things 2, 3, 4 times. And then an example would be, it's time to build a flyer. So now you're going to give that information. Either you have it, or maybe you have an assistant that's going to help you build your flyer. And now you have all this information in one spot, and it doesn't have to go back and forth, email this, follow up that, text message here. This allows you to stay very organized. Then when it's time, maybe you have that 1-2 buyers where you got that one deal. You don't even need to put the flyer together. You're going to send out a few pictures and a text that says, here it is, and it's gone, right? Because that specific buyer is very in tune with what the property looks like based on the pictures. So let's talk about some of the pictures that you're going to put in that folder, right? We talk about this through our property walkthroughs, and we talk about this very specifically to big ticket items: kitchens, baths, roofs, windows, floors, electrical panels, hot water heaters, and central heating and air. So that all of this is going to be in this folder, because most of the time the buyers want to see the big ticket issues, right? That way they can get a really good idea of what's going on, a really big picture, high level looking down, to just know like, okay, we have a deal, right? And they're obviously going to go buy the property, but it helps you eliminate a lot of time, right? So that you're getting as much information out as possible. So give yourself a guideline. Give yourself a guideline that says, every single time we go on inspection, we're going to have the same pictures, bare minimum, let's just say 30 pictures, right? We're all inside of the smartphones. So we take all of our pictures, all the big ticket items, and then exterior, interior as much as we can, and then load those up to the Google Drive. And then remember, this Google Drive link, there's plenty of YouTube videos on this. You can make that link where it's public, and then only people can view it. They can't edit it, right? So This allows for people at any point in time, you saved it in your CRM, you now take that link and then put it straight over to the sellers. I'm sorry, straight over to your buyers and let them review it. We got Josh in here and says, Carrot is a great way to present properties to buyers. Yes, totally agree. Carrot sites are awesome. Again, the thing that we talk about with sharing information with buyers is that we just want to make sure our buyers are vetted. Take the time to really deep dive into those guys and make sure that you can show that they're legit before you present that information. Remember, guys, you're spending a lot of time to go after these leads. You're spending money. You're doing a lot to be able to get these leads. So you want to vet the guys that are actually going to review your deals. Josh has got here's an example, great way to funnel buyers as well. Yep. So again, when you're taking these pictures, just be very specific. Have yourself an SOP or a standard operating procedure for every single time you do it. Have all the same big ticket items all in one folder. And again, it doesn't really matter if it's a Dropbox or it's a Google Drive. I talk to Google Drive because we use it for so much. We use it for Excel. We use it for Word docs. We create presentations inside of there. There's just a lot of things you can do inside of Google Drive. And it was a really big game changer for me when our company, when we first started going and started ramping up, right? It was just a big time saver. And then as you work yourself through the system and you have other people that start joining your team, you start making a better operating procedure to how you build that flyer, how you get it out, where all the information is, so that everybody can do their piece in the role that they're playing. So nothing too crazy today, guys, but definitely want to speak to, I think this past month or so, I was talking to it, and it's just like, man, it's surprising to see that so many people don't do this, that they don't take the time to put all this information in one spot so it's readily available, and just giving a lot of visuals, right? A lot of visual information to your buyers so they can really see what's going on with the property. Maybe they're not specifically going themselves and might have an inspector go that allows them to see, like, yeah, I really want to look at this because it makes sense. Get good about making your flyers, right? Make your flyer have as much information on it as possible so that buyer can see whether it's something they really want. Share some comps, share information about the property itself, have links to where you can go in, and our flyer has a link to where you can go in and see the pictures. You can actually go in and make an offer, and you can also schedule a showing or go in to view the home so we can keep track about what's going on with the property, right? So very important to take the time to build this out so that you can share this information with your buyers and not do work time and time again, multiple, just repeat it over and over, right, on the same property. So taking the time to be able to build that out, be very intentional with what you're doing so that you can share that information with somebody, and those guys can get you an offer, right? The thing you're working with here is speed, and how much information can you get to your buyer so that they can make a really good decision to know that it's a good deal. So nothing too long today, guys. Again, talking about taking all of these tools that we have available to us, where Google Drive and Dropbox, those are the two that I know specifically. I'm sure there's some other ones out there, but Google Drive is one we know the most of and we use the most of. And it just does really well for us as a company and lets us operate very smoothly. But get yourself organized where you can share this information with people, and that way you can get as much information out as quick as possible and get a deal done, right? Speed is the thing here. So, guys, thanks again for taking the time to join us today. For those listening to the replay, if you would, leave us a comment on the show if it was something that was helpful or maybe something that you do different. Josh, thanks for jumping in and helping us and sharing what you do. I appreciate it. As always, guys, if you ever need anything, check us out at wholesalingoutofthebox.com. Plenty of things over there to help you in your wholesaling world, skip tracing, CRMs, all kinds of stuff over there. And also, if you're interested in checking us out this week specifically, we'll be doing some marketing talk that we're doing in our meeting. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.